BRC, BMP, whatever name they go by, is not a problem. The purpose of an environmental impact statement is to identify impacts. If we're wrong in identifying the impacts, you need to tell us with facts, figures, whatever data is available, why we're wrong. For the impacts that we either agree to disagree or we agree exist, these proposed mitigations are just that. They're talking points between, and I'll repeat myself again, the BLM, the Burning Man organization, and our cooperators. And Burning Man can sit down and talk with us, and they can sit down and talk with our cooperators, and then eventually we all do have to have a three-way conversation to at least come to some sort of resolution. And we are looking forward to that. And we wish that would start sooner than later. So, next question.
Well, actually, wait. That's okay.
Okay.
Can I jump in really quick? I'm sorry. So it's 7:15. I know everyone has questions, and we want to respect that. So please keep it to one question, and we're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. So if anyone has substantive comments that they want to come and ask Marty's team or the BLM, we'll have time for that, and you can address them here or jot down some notes, okay? But we have to keep to time, please. Thank you.
Well, I have a comment to BLM or DOI or whatever you call yourselves. Mark, you just told us that it's up to us to show you why you're wrong. It's my understanding that it's up to you to show us why you're right. And that's why we're doing this analysis.
Okay, I have a very specific question. I'm just a regular burner, but a member of a theme camp. Volume 2, Appendix E. Mitigation. I noticed that you all, Marty, tagged what is here listed as PHS3, that BRC will be required to implement physical perimeter barriers as a particular problem. I'm here to ask about PHS4, which reads, BRC will facilitate all structures over 10 feet to be inspected by qualified and Nevada certified building inspectors prior to occupancy. I need clarification as to what over 10 feet means. Is that footprint? Is that height? Is it both? Height. And will that therefore, that would pertain to almost every theme camp's tents and other temporary structures?
Or an RV with a flag.
Actually, many RVs are probably over 10 feet. So that this PHS4 will have a very significant immediate impact, not on the semi-professional people who run the show, but people who are going to be blindsided by the need for Nevada certified building inspectors.
We have enough inspectors.
I could only ask one question, but
Thank you for that comment and question, and I can tell you, because I am reading 95 to 98% of the comments that come in, whether they're letters, the e-planning website, or the emails, that will be resolved and cleared up. We have a mitigation. It is inexact, and it is not perfect as a mitigation. So, thank you. Your turn.
I'm a veteran since 2003. I'm just an attendee, but this is my passion. I consider Burning Man a religion. I got married there last year. My question for you is, I'm just worried about when we have this additional screening, will it slow down things even more? So why does BLM care if people sneak in? Why do we need this barrier? How does that really affect the event? And why do you feel it's necessary to hire a third party to screen each and every car? Maybe I'm ignorant, but have guns and knives ever been an issue? Has there ever been an attack or crime with a weapon ever performed on the playa? And it comes across to me that you guys just care about helping the police meet some quota for drugs. I mean, what exactly is Burning Man even doing wrong to warrant such a request?
Thank you for your comment, and I hope that you do take the time to submit that in writing. There is a history of weapons being found within the event.
Found but used. Have they been used?
A number?
I'll let you speak, okay?
A number? 2.
There are numbers in the report. If you find them missing, send in a comment. We can beef it up for the final EIS, okay? But, yes, sir.
Not emotions.
So, yes, weapons have been found in the event. Yes, weapons have been used in the event. The weapons violation actually was written in conjunction with Burning Man organizers. That was not a BLM-derived stipulation. So
is this more about drugs then? Because the world is full of
this
drugs.
is about keeping the Burning Man community as safe as we possibly can.
Ecstasy doesn't make people unsafe.
Per capita, safest place on earth.
Safety first.
Next question.
Thank you. Yeah, per capita, safest place on earth.
We're going to take, let's make these quick. We're going to try to burn through about 3 to 4 questions before we break out on the one-on-one. So,
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Johnson. I am a native Nevadan. I've been doing Burning Man for about 16 years. And I've gone through some of this EIM. And putting aside the egregious costs and operational challenges, these mitigations create a surprising number of downstream environmental impacts, many of which will be way worse than the issues they've intended to solve. Can BLM explain how their thorough, scientific, and intensive EIS process could result in solutions that have a worse environmental impact than the issues they are intended to solve?
Right on.
one, like I said earlier, these are points to start a discussion on addressing impacts.
There was a question. Answer the question.
That is my answer. Thank you very much. The other point to keep in mind, not all these mitigations apply to all alternatives. So you have to keep that one in mind. So, next.
Phew, I made it. I'm Stacy Whittick. I'm the new director for Friends of Black Rock High Rock.
Yay.
Thank you. I happen to think that public lands are so extraordinarily important, and this little event that happens at the end of summer is one of the biggest explorations of what public lands can do through partnerships. So I hope it never goes away. As Tom said, we practice Leave No Trace. We are trainers for Leave No Trace year-round. We do a lot of events, including pickups of trash along 447. We hope that you will get involved with us as well year-round. Our organization is able to touch maybe 250 people a year through Leave No Trace facilitations and trainings. Burning Man is able to reach out to tens of thousands of people with Leave No Trace trainings. And they do take this to public lands. But there is a question I have, and it does concern me, is that if we put dumpsters out there, we take away the third principle, which is pack it in, pack it out.
Right.
And we take away what we built, which is self-actualization. We make people codependent on a system. So I'd like to ask Marty, because we've not asked you any questions yet. What do you suggest we do to build self-actualization about Leave No Trace?
What a great question. I love the work that Friends is doing, and I think that the work that Burning Man has done through the years, both by recognizing leaving no trace as one of our core principles and tenets, is work to be continued in the future. And I believe that we have seen the population of Burning Man shift, of course, over time. Things always evolve. We have more international guests coming in. So there's an opportunity here to take what we hold as being practically self-evident, those of us who have been to Burning Man a long time, and to teach and to raise awareness about what Leave No Trace means and what it could mean in the future. And does that mean and include climate change? Does it mean we could do better with our emissions? What does that look like in our future? And leaving no trace in the National Conservation Area is something we take great pride in, and a way that we consider ourselves good members of the community, good property owners in Gerlach, which we are, and good users of our public lands. And so we look at Leave No Trace and that ethic as being something that people take home with them and share with others and incorporate into their lives and contribute to a better planet.
We're going to try to get through everybody who's in line. So next, let's try to keep this moving.
Hi, my name is Adriana. I actually have not been to Burning Man yet, and so these mitigations and population caps are actually quite a concern to me, of course. I have kind of a multi-stage question for both parties, so I do apologize. It will be continued for 2 questions. My comment is essentially, I would just like to say that for an environmental impact study, this meeting contained entirely too little environmental impacts. Too many topics covered in this meeting had nothing to do with the environment at all and was comprised of outrageous propaganda and the verbiage of things like plagues of trash. Burning Man project brought up more issues with your proposed mitigations than any issue the BLM has with the environmental impact of Burning Man. Nothing in the ESI or this meeting contained information regarding the propositions that you've proposed. Well, I would like to ask if you've even considered the environmental impact of these proposed mitigations, bringing in K-rails, dumpsters, K-rails having a massive, long-lasting impact and impression on the playa, the amount of gas required to take all of these things in, the weight, the transport. I've been to many other events where trash cans were provided, and I can tell you it most certainly invited more trash than would have been contributed if it was just placed onto the responsibility of the person that the ship had. I would like to know what studies you've done on your propositions, and also I would like to just say that the ESI, which contains hundreds of pages on the propositions, should be containing a study on said propositions. It's just ill will and just ill and unresponsible to not have a study done on any of these. It seems to me this entire thing is meant to place harsh restrictions that cannot be met long term in an effort to stop or slow down Burning Man, entirely based off of the stereotypes and false information, rather than real documented and observed information. And so my question to both of you, because you presented kind of an outrageous number versus what we've seen has an actual impact for Burning Man project, you brought up an outrageous number of the actual trash contributed. Can you just repeat your number for me and how you actually got this information?
The number was based on EPA estimates for trash produced by a quote-unquote average household. So that's...
But that's a household, not a freaking campsite.
How is that relevant?
Yeah, hello, we're camping. 4 pounds a week, maybe, not a day.
How is that relevant to this situation?
Thank you. That was kind of my thought behind that. Also, I would love to ask how you guys have, I'm sure you've done your own studies on the environmental impact and the trash produced. Could you produce me with a number based on what you guys may have observed in past events?
Let me make sure I get your question right. Do we have other data?
Yeah.
Chaos, do we have other data? It's a great question. We'll tell you what we have right now. Yeah.
I'm Chaos. I'm the Associate Director for the Department of Public Works at Burning Man. So we don't have specific data regarding how much trash you generate and how much trash you take home. We only understand clearly how much trash you leave behind, which thankfully over the years is not very much. So I will say that I think we all create trash in our lives at home, and we all create trash at Burning Man. I can't speculate as to whether that's the same amount of trash. But what matters is that you take it away and you do the right things with it. So these numbers really speak to how much trash is actually created by people living their lives, not by how much trash is actually left behind anywhere at Burning Man or along the roadways. So as the population has increased in recent years, we had to create our own mitigations for things such as large abandoned items. Those are couches that mistakenly didn't make it onto a car in a dust storm, something along those lines. We've been really thankful that as the population has grown and our outreach efforts have improved, we have not seen an increase in those types of items. So over all of these years, we tend to take away a mere few dumpsters worth of debris that you all leave behind accidentally at Burning Man. And through our playa restoration efforts, we generally collect, every bit of material that we can find, which equals in the range of about 1 dumpster. And we have successfully stayed under the standard established by the BLM through our permitting requirements of 1 square foot per acre of debris for every year that the test has been in place.
Because I appreciate your question about data, I just wanted to make one other correction. During Chelsea's presentation, she said something about, and I may not have this right, 18,000 vehicles per day. Those numbers are not right. We only issue 32,000 vehicle passes. There is no way that there could be 18,000 vehicles a day. I don't know where these numbers came from. We do have real numbers that we will submit. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm a range ecologist. I've been working in the Great Basin for over 13 years, and I'm also a burner. And I'm really concerned about the wait times that the screening is going to result in. The car's already back all the way up to Highway 80, and so is this going to result in more cars pulling over on the side of the road? I study small mammals and invasive species, especially I have sites around Pyramid Lake and around the Black Rock, and you have rodents like kangaroo rats that will live right up alongside the road. So if you have wait times that are dramatically increased and more people getting out of their cars, stomping not just rodent burrows, but also continuing to